Peace and shalom, Israel. Before we start the lesson, hit the notification button because we upload lessons every week and I don't want you to miss a single one of them. Like, comment, subscribe, and if there's a topic you would like for us to cover, we'll see what we can do. So until next time, cue the music. All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program. As always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath day. Now, this lesson I entitled Every Idle Word. Every Idle Word. And I just think it's really important that we understand, the words that come out of our mouth, the things that we say. We think they're inconsequential. We think they're small. We think they don't really mean a whole lot. But the Bible says something contrary, that it does mean something, and I know just by the title of it that many of you out there, you can think of some scriptures that come to mind to where what we say actually does matter. Now with that, we're going to actually go into some of those scriptures so we can get a deeper understanding that, the Most High really take inventory in the things that we say. I submit to you, even the Messiah, he takes inventory. He listens to the things that comes out of our mouth because we know it's deep down in our heart. The things that are inside us, that are deep down in our heart, we say, out of the abundance of the heart, right? So we have to understand that it's really critically important that we watch our mouth. We watch what we say. Because many a times, Israel, we're known for flying off the handle. We're known for getting lit. We're known for, really going from 0 to 100. We jump out the window. We get upset. We have to say what we have to say. No one can talk to us crazy. We get mad. We allow other people to anger us and really get us fired up, and we really start speaking reckless. Sometimes it's not even anger. Sometimes we're just haughty. We're just proud, a lot of ego. And all of a sudden, we start saying things we ought not. And yet we do it all the time. But we need to watch those things that we say. Obviously, it's not in the Bible, but there's an old saying that, he that angers you controls you. And that's a lot of, and that's how we can that's how we're defeated a lot, because we allow someone to anger us. And so now when we're angry, we don't have the benefit of intellect. We don't think clearly. How many times we've been in arguments and we say things that we ought not. Now, some people have an ego and we feel that we're justified. Hey, they made me mad. I said this, I said that. But how many times we say words and it did so much damage? Because maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't have said it, right? But our words have far-reaching effects. It's huge, much more than just hurt feelings. It could even result in condemnation. It could even result in you being cut off just because you can't control your mouth. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Matthew chapter 12, so we can go ahead and unpack this topic. Matthew chapter 12. And when we get to chapter 12, I want to pick it up at 33. And he says, either make the tree good and his fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by its fruit. O generation of vipers, how can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. That sounds like that's a big deal, right? 37. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So watch what you say. We need to put more weight in what we say. That it means something. We have to give an account to that. Wives, the things that you say to your husband, are they truth? Are they edifying? Are they thus says the Lord? Men, are you manipulating the word? Are you leading your family wisely? Are you saying that which is good and righteous? Because you too have to give an account of every idle word. Are you being deceitful or manipulative? Or are you being truthful, upfront, righteous? And that goes for both of us, men, women. How do we communicate with one another? Because we have to give an account for every idle word, to our justification or to our condemnation. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. We're still in Matthew. Let's go to chapter 5. And when we get to Matthew chapter 5, let's do verse 21 and 22. And he says, Ye have heard that is said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with thy brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say, these are words, say to his brother, Racha, shall be in danger of counsel. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. That you say, Racha, or Raka, or fool. Be careful. Be careful what we say. Because sometimes we can let our anger and our emotions override our better judgment. It happened. It's happened to the best of us. But we need to repent and be careful of what we say. Be careful of the words. And I know it can be hard to do, especially when we are charged full of emotion. I know. I get it. I've been there. But we got to watch that. We have to learn to control this tongue. We got to learn how to control that. Let's go on over to James chapter 3. It's right after Hebrews. James chapter 3. Verse 12 verses. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all, and if any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle the whole body. So if you can control what you say, you can control your tongue, okay? He's a perfect man, meaning you're doing pretty good. Verse 3, behold, we put bits in the horse's mouth that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold, also the ships which though they be so great, and are driven of fierce winds, yet are turned about with a very small helm, whatsoever the governor listed. Even so the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defile the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, or of birds, or serpents, or things in the sea is tamed, and thou been tamed of mankind. But the tongue can no man tame. It is a unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and wherewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? Can a fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a wine, figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. See, we got to decide. See, that's the thing. We got to decide what is it that, what type of person we're going to be. We have to decide how we're going to use our words. We have to decide, are we going to be reckless with our words? Are we just going to say whatever comes to mind? Or are we just going to, hey, I got it right. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to say what I got to say. I got to keep it 100. Right? I mean, that's what we do. The question is, at what cost? At what cost? At what cost that we keep it 100? At what cost? Because if you're in error, you could be condemning yourself. If you're in error, you have to stand in judgment and give an account. Let's continue. Let's go to Proverbs 18. Proverbs 18. And I'm going to start at verse 4, and we'll jump around a little bit. It says, the words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. Now we're going to drop down to verse 6 through 8. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. And you know, we've all had this expression when they say, you know, don't write a check your body can't cash. And a lot of times that's what people do. You know, have you ever seen someone, I mean, sometimes we fall into a rabbit hole of watching videos and things like that, but have you ever seen a video where, you know, you see some sort of altercation or whatever, and you thought to yourself, even if it's but a moment, you thought to yourself that, hey, if that person would have just not said anything, there wouldn't even be a beef. There wouldn't even be a problem if they just stopped talking. See, the fool can't hold his tongue. How many times have you seen it where, you know, a guy who's just talking too much, talking way too much to someone else, and the other person may be a little patient, may not even be saying a whole lot, but once they had enough, once that's it, once they had that Popeye moment, you know, that's all I can stand, I can't stand no more, and then they fly off on the other person who was running their mouth. Now, how many times have you seen that? Got to learn to hold our tongue. Let me go to 13. And it says, he that answers a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. That means, you know, because sometimes you hear something, you hear a story, you think of something or whatever, and you make a judgment before you even hear both sides. You make a judgment before you even hear making both sides. Well, you know, I think this. What do you know? Do you have all the facts? How are you making your determination? It's a fool and a shame if you make your judgment and you don't have all the facts. You don't have both sides. It's foolishness. At this point, it'd be a good time to zip it. Good time to shut up. Like, you know what? I don't know. I don't have all the facts. And that's it. Because you don't know. You're answering a matter. There's a dispute or something. Two people, they had a fight, whatever. You're only talking to one of them. You're only talking to one side of, listening to one side of the story. That's it. You're listening to one side of the story. And then you make your determination. You make your determination. You know. The person in front of you telling their side, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are telling the whole truth. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're lying. But I will tell you this, they're telling you their version. That's what this scripture is talking about in part. Let's go down to 15. It said, the heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge. That's why you got to hear the whole matter. You got to hear the whole matter, okay? Because you got to be seeking wisdom. Okay, let's go to verse 20 and 21. It says, a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. You're doing this wisely. It says in 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You're going to get what you got coming. It says, and if it already says, if we got to give an account, you're going to be judged either justification or a condemnation, power of life and death, hey, we got to give an account. That's how big this is. That's how important this is. And yet we take it light. We act as though it means absolutely nothing. Let's move on, guys. Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29. I just really want one verse, which is verse 11. It said, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it until afterwards, until it's time. Someone who's very quiet, okay? Someone's quiet, they don't say a whole lot. And when they say something, it actually means something. Person who can hold their tongue and just be quiet. The person who can be the last one to speak in a group. Is that you? Or are you the center of attention? You gotta be, you gotta do all the talking. You gotta dominate the conversation. Who's the wise one? Is it the one who can bloviate and just go on and on and on and never even take a breath, never even pause to breathe a little bit? The one who just keeps on talking. Let us continue. Let's go to Proverbs. Where am I? We did 29 and 11. So let's go to Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17, 27 and 28. And it says, he that has knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. So you have knowledge, you spare your words. Say a little, just enough. Just enough. But we keep talking and we keep going on and on and on. And you have to give an account for these words. And we just go on and on and on. Brothers and sisters, I'm just trying to get you to understand this. It means something. It counts. It all counts. Let's continue. Let's keep this train going, okay? Let's see Psalm chapter 12. Okay, let's go to Psalm chapter 12. Take all these down, and I want you guys to study it. Let these scriptures resonate with you. Let it stay with you. Meditate on this whole week. Okay, let's go back to Psalm 12. It's right here. And when we get to Psalm 12, I want to read the first 4 verses. And it says, help, Lord, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fell from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor. With flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak. The Lord shall cut off all the flattering lips and the tongue that speaketh proud things. Who have said, with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? Okay. Speak proud. They think they think they know. They think they know. I declare. I say this and I say that. Thus says. I say it. My words. If they speak proudly, if they think they can do this on their own will, sheer force of will. See, that's where a lot of the whole new age thing comes from. It's kind of name it, it's the secret, It's almost like, law of attraction. Now, I'm not here to poo-poo on that. I'm just saying, it's one of those things that that you think you're going to do something away from God or has nothing to do with God, or you're going to do it on your own power, your own might, speaking proudly. Shoot, the word even said, don't even say what you're going to do next year, next month, whatever. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing. But say, if the Lord will, I'm going to do such and such. You don't even know if you're going to make it to tomorrow. So watch your mouth. Or you get what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Just read 1 through 4. Let's go to Psalm 15, 1 through 5. It says here, Lord, who can abide with thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speak the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contempt. But he honoreth them that feareth the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. Are we starting to get it? Are we starting to get it? Let us continue. Go to Judges chapter 11. Let's see, Judges chapter 11. There we go. So Judges 11, and I'm going to read 29, or start at 29 and finish at 40. Starting at 29, let's take a look at this story here. It said, Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mishpah of Gilead. And from Mishpah of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hand, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Watch your mouth. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hand, and he smote them from Aorah, even till thou come to Minnith, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards, with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mishpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Beside her he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. Man, that's it. I promised my daughter. I told him, whoever walks in, that's it. She belongs to the Lord now. I got to sacrifice this to the Lord. This is word, right? This is what he did. He said, I can't go back. I can't go back on it. And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which has proceeded out of thy mouth. Forasmuch as the Lord has taken vengeance for thee of thy enemies, even of the children of Ammon. And she said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow, which he had vowed. And she knew no man, and it was a custom in Israel, that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughters of Jephthah to Gileadite 4 days in a year. So he couldn't go back on it. What you say matters. You vow a vow, that is it. It is a wrap. You're not going to go back on it. You better not go back on it, or it will not be well with thee. You cannot do that. It is a wrap from that point. We have to keep out. Watch your words before you make an oath or you vow a vow, you make sure you can carry it through. You make sure, because a lot of times we make a deal, we try to make a deal with the Most High like he's a genie in a bottle or whatever, where if you do this, then I'm going to do that. And all we're thinking about is the reward. All we're thinking about is what we want. We're thinking about that. But are we thinking about if he grants you your reward? In other words, give you what you're asking for. Are you willing to keep your end of the deal? Are you willing to do that? Because you can't just play around with these vows like it means nothing. You cannot do that. Your words can get you caught up. And I'm not talking about a rapture. We have to be very, very careful about this. Very careful. You say it, you vow it, you oath it, you bind yourself by oath, you better mean it and you better pay up. It's better you don't make a vow at all, if that's the case. If you're shaky with it, don't make a vow at all. Just don't. Let's continue. Let's go to Numbers 30. Let's talk about vows real quick. Numbers 30. We're just gonna talk about vows. Okay, I usually use Numbers 30 and talk about protocol and all that, but now let's just use that real quick. Numbers 30. Okay, and we're just gonna basically, let's see here. We'll just read that whole chapter, Numbers 30. Talking about vows. Okay, I mean these words mean something. Okay. Now it says, and Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Now listen carefully and read along with me. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word, he shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth. Isn't that what we just read? You have to do it. That's it. You make a vow. You swear an oath, that is it. You better fulfill it. It's like the vow of the Levirate. You got to do that. I mean, the Nazarite. You have to do that. You have to not shave your head. You have to not drink wine or eat grapes or anything. You have to do that for the specified time that you put forth. You got to do it. He shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeded out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house, in her youth, so she's young, she's still at home, okay, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she has bound her soul shall stand. Meaning she's gonna have to do it. Is it? She's gonna have to roll with it, finish it, complete it, and hold herself. She's gonna have to stand on that, whatever she says. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heard it, remember, not the day that she made it, the day that he heard it. Okay, the day that he heard it, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she had bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her because her father disallowed it. Power. See, that still applies today. In case you don't know, this still applies. And if she had at all a husband when she vowed or uttered out of her lips wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. Means she's going to have to stand on it. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then she shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. I mean, you're going to have to stand on it. You make a vow, that's it, because nobody's covering you. So there's nobody covering you. Your father's not covering you. Your husband's not covering you. You're not covered. You don't even have your kinsman. Your kinsman, redeemer. He did some authority. There's no authority over you. Okay, but the Most High. So no, there's no one to break that vow for you. There's no one to disallow it. That's a better word. There's no one to disallow it. So it's between you and the Lord. Okay, there's no buffering between you and the Lord. So you make a vow, you got to stand on it. Okay, so you have to stand on it. But every vow, okay, in verse 10, and if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if the husband had utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establish all her vows or all her bonds which are upon her. He confirmed them because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. So if he didn't say anything, they stand. But if he shall anyways make them void after that he had heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. So, okay, so he changed his mind. He disallows it, then he allows it. Or he allows it, then he try to disavow it later on or what. No, it doesn't work like that. And he can do it, but then now it's on him. That means he has to wear that sin. He has to bear her iniquity. See, the husband can do that. All this still stands. Okay? Like it says, 15, I'll give you that again. Shall any ways make them void after that he had heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. Okay? So what we say matters. Men, women, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one you are. It matters. Okay? It matters. So what basically what are you going to do? Because it definitely matters. Every idle word. Every idle word. Let's continue. Let's go on over to Matthew 5. New Testament. Matthew chapter 5. We're going to start at 33 to 37. So Matthew 5. And he said this. He said, again, ye have heard it that in the path that hath been said by them of old time, thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shall perform unto the Lord thy oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, nor for it is God's throne, nor by earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shall thou swear by thy head, because thou cannot make one hair white or black. But let your communications be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than that comes of evil. I mean, you can get yourself in big trouble. You keep doing these swearing and vowing and stuff. Doesn't mean that you cannot. He just said it's better if you just don't swear at all. That's what he's saying. He said it's better if you just don't. If you just don't, because you breaking your vow, that's evil. You breaking it. If you're not gonna carry through, you're not gonna stand on what you say, you're in big trouble. That's evil. You not just let your yay be yay or in your nay be nay. Yes, I'm gonna do it. No, I'm not. Plain and simple. Just make it plain and simple. That's it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do it, or I am gonna do it. Just try to be concrete, plain, and simple. Now, I understand all of us from time to time we need to petition the Lord for something to change in our life. I get it. But if you vow a vow, make sure you stick with it. Make sure you can do it. Make sure you can carry it out. Let's continue. Ecclesiastes. Go with me to Ecclesiastes, and I'm going to go on over to chapter 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, and then I'm going to read first 7 verses. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. See, so be more willing to hear. You step in, in this place, you step in the holy place, or whatever. You got 2 ears. Use that more than your mouth. You might learn something. But he said instead of sacrifice of, see, the sacrifice of fool is idle words. Okay? Idle words don't mean anything. You're a hypocrite or whatever the case may be. It's just idle words. Or if the Lord get me out of this jam, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Don't give the sacrifice of fools. See, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before the Lord. See, your foolish words. For God is in heaven, and thou upon the earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Let thy words be few. Verse 3. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it. For he has no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Whatever you say you're going to do, do it, get it done. Okay? Get it done. Better it is that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. See, Messiah said that too. It's best. It's better if you don't swear at all. Okay? It's better if you don't make a vow at all, because we're too prone to breaking it. Okay, so Solomon and Christ said the same thing. He said it's better if you just don't do it at all. And let your words be few. Sometimes we just talk a little too much. It's better if you don't do it at all. But check this out in verse 6 and 7. It says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hand? Oh, my bad. I know I promised, but my bad. No. For in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also diverse vanities. But fear thy God. So no, just fear the Lord. Basically, don't play with him. That's basically what we're saying. Don't play with him. All these sweet little ideas. Yeah, look, you may be able to say all these sweet words and manipulate man and try to do all kind of verbal gymnastics to confuse and confound someone else. But not the King of Heaven. Your slick words are just it's not going to cut it. You won't be able to manipulate him. You won't be able to go back on your word. See, this is the one person that if you owe him by your vow and by your oath, he can collect. Oh, you're going to pay one way or the other. You're going to pay. You're going to stand on what you said. So you can try to play all the games you want. It's not going to end well with you. It's better if you just didn't make the vow in the first place. You tell me. Let's continue. Let's go to Malachi 3. Malachi chapter 3, 16 through 18. He said, then they that fear the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man spared his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serve him not. So he's going to see. He's going to come collect. See, he's going to make sure. Were you a person of your word? Did you really mean what you said? Or are you going to fulfill your end of the bargain? See, now this is just personal. Sometimes, we make a bargain and the Most High, sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no, sometimes it's wait, whatever the case, however he answered it sometimes. Sometimes he says no because he probably feel like you're not going to, he said, I don't want to have to kill you because you're not going to keep your word. You don't believe that when it came out of your mouth in the first place. So, I'm not going to make the deal with you. No, I'm not. Because you're not going to fulfill your word anyway. So actually, that's part of his mercy. That can be part of his mercy. Be like, you know what? No, I don't believe you. No, I don't. I mean, the one who can see the future, the one who is not bound by time, already knows he already knows whether or not you're going to pay or not. Hey, you tell me, what do you think? Now, this is just my personal thought. Sometimes when he says no, it's no. Sometimes he says no because he is sparing you. He's sparing you and I. Hey, no, because you're not going to keep your end of the bargain. No. I don't want to have to slap you around a little bit because you're not going to keep your end of the bargain. So, nah, pass. Let's go on over Ephesians chapter 4. And I want to read verse 25 to 27, right? In 25, it says, "Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down on your wrath." Okay? And neither give place to do evil. I'm going to drop down to 29. "Let no corrupt communications proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers." That you may minister grace unto the hearers. How do you use your tongue, as in the power of the tongue? How do you use your words? Let me phrase it that way. How do you use your words? Do you like to use your words to manipulate, to deceive? Do you like to use your words to edify, build up, give people hope, speak what thus says the Lord? Or what? How do you use your words? How do you do it? You want to just put people down? That's it? Do you want to just condemn people, going around, "Oh, you're going to hell, oh, you're going to hell"? How do you want to do it? Are you building people up? What are you doing? How do you use your words? The power of life and death are in the tongue, and that includes your life. Not just the people who you're talking to. James says the tongue is full of, poison. And some of you guys know this, that you can say something and it can resonate with someone for years and years and years to come. Has anyone said something to you in your past? It could have been 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. They said something, you still remember it today. You just can't get it out of your head. You just cannot stop thinking about it. It's always in the back of your head, and it comes back to you from time to time, right? And I submit to you that you probably remember some of the negative things people say more than some of the nice things people say. You can think of a lot of the negative things that someone has said to you, that someone has uttered to you. You think of that, and it gives you this. It still pricks you. It still pricks you. I'll put it that way. It still pricks you. And you can probably come up with more of those than of when someone says something that's edifying. Now, some of you guys healed from negative words that's been spoken to you, hey, Yah bless you. But I know there's a lot of people still hurting, still in pain, and certain words still bother them to this day. So when you hear that old little nursery rhyme, sticks and stones may break. No, we know that's false. We know that to be false, because you wouldn't even have a profession called psychology and counseling if words don't matter. You wouldn't even have a profession with that. Oh, they matter. The words matter. Let us continue. We're going to go over to 1 Peter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. Just the first two verses. "Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear." See, without words, without you saying a whole lot, you wish your husband was a better leader. You wish he was a little more righteous. You wish he would just study the word a little bit more. You wish he was a little more, clear. You wish he would just, be a better father. You wish all these certain things, but guess what? Your words are not going to be what turns him around. It's your conversation. It's your lifestyle. It is yours. It says without words. It's going to be your lifestyle. It's going to be your holiness. It's going to be your righteousness. So when he sees that, then he's convicted by the Holy Spirit to say, you know what? I got to do better. I've seen it happen. At one point, I was that guy. There was a time I didn't want to have anything to do with this Bible. I didn't want to have nothing to really do with it. I'm like, But my wife, she's read it all the time. She just kept reading it. I asked her, well, what are you doing? I'm reading the Bible. A couple days pass by, I'm looking over. What are you doing? I'm reading the Bible. All the time, and I'm just like, and she's humming tunes and cooking and doing things or whatever. I'm like, why are you so happy? Oh, I did a Bible study, and it's just, I just feel better, whatever. Not once jump on my back and like, hey, could you do this, and we need to do this, and we gotta go to church, and we need to do none of that. Just kept reading. Didn't say nothing to me. She answered my question, but didn't say anything to me. Just, I just read. I was reading the Bible. I just did a lesson. That's it. Nothing. Didn't walk around the house, parade with a Bible. None of that. Just was doing her normal thing. And when I paid attention, I'm looking. I'm like, what are you doing? I was just reading the Bible. And then I'm like, let me see what's in this Bible that she likes so much. So brothers and sisters, I know this one. I know this one. Ooh, pick me. I know this one. I lived it. I've seen it before, even in other people. So this one here, this leaps off the page. Let's continue, brothers and sisters. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Okay? 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, I'm going to read 9 through 12. And it says, but as touching brotherly love, ye need not that I write unto you. For ye yourselves are taught of God to love one another. And indeed ye do it toward all the brethren which are in Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. And that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you. That you may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing. That you may have lack of nothing. We should be too busy doing our own thing, so before we have to speak impure words about someone else. We really honestly should be too busy. We really should be like, let me just mind my own business, keep my head down, mind my own business, do my thing. That's really what should be happening. But we're just busybodies, talebearers, talking. Too much of that. Let's continue. Let's go on over to Psalms. Psalms 34 and 12. Just want that one verse and then we'll move on. Psalm 34 and 12. It said, what man is he that desired life and loved many days, that he may see good? Okay, so it's Psalms 34 and 13. Keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile. And thy lips for speaking guile. That means deceit when we go into the Strongs, right? Untruth, wickedness, treachery, deceit. Go look it up in the Strongs. Keep your lips from speaking treachery, deceit. Quit trying to manipulate people with your words. Just speak the truth. Just the truth. That's it. As they say in court, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but. Let's continue. 1 Samuel 31. Okay, this is how a lot of these things, how you can get yourself. This is how you get yourself caught up, right? Let's look at this. Okay, 1 Samuel 31. Okay, let's go to 1 Samuel 31. Okay, we're going to go to 1 Samuel 31. I'm going to read the first 6 verses real quick, okay? This is towards the end of the reign, of Saul being king, right? Let's look at this. It says, "And now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa," right? "And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons, and the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Melchishua, Saul's sons, all 3, right? 3 sons. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, Draw thy sword, and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through, and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and his armor bearer, and all his men that same day together." Now you guys got the story. You see what actually happened, right? So you see that. Okay? Saul wanted his armor bearer to go ahead and finish him off, because he's like, look, while I'm alive, these Philistines, they're about to win anyway, and they catch me, they're gonna do this. They're gonna stab me. They're gonna thrust me through, and then they're gonna torture me and humiliate me. So you go ahead and do it. Now, because of the love and fear the armor bearer had for his king, he's like, no, I can't do that. I cannot kill my king. That's it. And Saul says, okay, fine. You put the handle of the sword down on the ground, and you just fall on, let your weight fall on, and let him die just like that. Now his 3 sons had already got killed by the Philistines. And the armor bearer's like, no, I'm going with I am down with the ship. I'm going with my king. And he kills himself too. Now, we saw what just happened, right? Now, let's go on over to 2 Samuel. Let's go to 2 Samuel. We're going to read the first 16 verses. And I look at it like this here. It says, "Now it came to pass after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag. And it came even to pass on the 3rd day that, behold, a man came out of the camp from Saul with his clothes rent and earth upon his head. And so it was, when he came to David, that he fell to the earth and did obeisance." So he pays his respects, and he basically genuflect in front of David. "And David said unto him, From whence comest thou? And he said unto him, Out of the camp of Israel am I escaped. And David said unto him, How went the matter?" Basically said, what happened? "I pray thee, tell me." And he answered, "That the people are fled from the battle, and many of the people also are fallen and dead. And Saul and Jonathan his son are dead also." And David said unto the young man that told him, "How knowest thou that Saul and Jonathan his son be dead?" And the young man that told him said, "As I happened by chance upon Mount Gilboa, behold, Saul leaned upon his spear. And lo, the chariots and horsemen followed hard after him. And when he looked behind him, he saw me and called unto me. And I answered, Here I am. Here am I. And he said unto me, Who art thou? And I answered him, I am an Amalekite. And he said unto me again, Stand, I pray thee, upon me, and slay me, for anguish is come upon me, because my life is yet whole in me. So I stood upon him and slew him, because I was sure that he could not live after that he was fallen. And I took the crown that was upon his head, and the bracelet that was on his arm, and had brought them hither unto my Lord. Then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even, for Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of the Lord, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. So he was all upset. So a little time passed by. He's mourning, upset, and crying, and and all that. 13. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How wast thou not afraid to stretch forth thy hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And David called one of his young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth has testified against thee, saying, I have slain the Lord's anointing. Your mouth. See, you wrote a check. Your mouth wrote that check that your body had to cash. And David said, this is not on me, this is on you. You said you killed the king. You said you killed God's anointed. Now, I know some of you saying, well, God had removed Saul from being a king. Oh, no, that's not the point. We're getting off the point. The point is, this dude said he did something that he actually didn't do. He lied to gain favor. And it backfired. He lied to gain favor and it backfired. He didn't even kill Saul. So by the time he saw Saul and Jonathan and his other two brothers, they were already dead. And even if he did see them alive, he wasn't the one who killed them. They killed themselves. So you lied to try to gain favor in David's eyes, Mr. Amalekite, and you paid for it. Every idle word. Let's go ahead and start wrapping this thing up, guys. Let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. Let's go to Matthew 15. Let's go to Matthew 15. I'm going to give you a few more verses, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I think you guys are starting to get the point here. Okay? So Matthew 15. Okay? And we get to Matthew 15. Let me read the first two verses, and I'll jump to 7. And it says, and then came Jesus, the scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do your disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. Okay, so he said they wash not their hands that they eat bread. And I'm going to drop down to 7. He said, ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draw nigh unto me with their what? Mouth, and honor me with their what? Lips, but their hearts are far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Listen to what he's saying, okay? That he teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. Okay? Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Now, we're not talking about food or anything like that, guys. We're talking about what comes out of your mouth. Do not let that escape you. Don't miss that, okay? What comes out of your mouth is what he's talking about. Now, let's drop down to verse 17. We're going to go 17 to 20. Do not yet ye understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly and is cast out into the drought. Okay, so you're going to digest it and it's going to come out, right? But those things which proceeded out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile a man. So that defiles a man. What you say, what comes out, condemns you. For out of the heart speaketh evil thoughts. See, these things are inside. Evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornication, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. So, we're not even talking about the food. He's just saying if you eat with unwashed hands. Okay, we're not talking about unclean foods or anything like that. If you eat with unwashed hands, don't worry, you'll be okay. But what's coming out of your mouth, what you're saying, that is what matters. That's what he's saying here. What comes out of your mouth. Let's go ahead and go to our last couple of places, and we're going to go ahead and finish up, okay? All right, we're going to go to Numbers 14. Okay, Numbers 14. Starting at verse 11. Okay, Numbers 14. Starting at verse 11. I'm going to go to 11 to 23 real quick, and then we're going to drop down to 26. So 11, it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me, and how long will it be ere they believe me for all the signs which I have showed among them? I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and I will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up his people in thy might from among them, and they will tell it to the inhabitants of the land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among his people, and that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by day time in a pillar and a cloud, and a pillar of fire by night. Now, if thou shalt kill all his people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore he has slain them in the wilderness. That's why he did it, because he couldn't really do it. Their God wasn't mighty enough to get this job done. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according to as thou hast spoken, saying, the Lord is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, upon the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven his people from Egypt even until now. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word. But as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. All the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now, these 10 times, have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. So he said, none of them will see it. Trust me on that. Let's drop down to 26. And he says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and said unto Aaron, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation which murmur against me? Listen to what this is what they're saying. Murmur against me. I've heard their murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Running our mouth, right? Getting all upset, getting a little attitude. Okay? Say unto them, as truly as I live, said the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Okay? Are we getting it? Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to the whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have what? Murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in. And they shall know the land which ye have despised. So, they're going to get in, but not you. Okay? Your children are getting, they're fine. You're the one who's going to perish. Okay? Everybody above 20, except for Caleb, and except for Joshua, everyone above 20, going to die. See, this is what, all the backbiting and the murmuring, he doesn't have time. Let me give you a last verse. Let's go on over to James chapter 1. See, these are the type of things that, we take lightly. Let me give you a last verse so I can go ahead and let you guys study and meditate. James chapter 1, I want to go down to 19 to 21. 19, it says, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save the soul. Okay, we're going to drop to 26. And if any man among you seem to be religious, and bridle not his what tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man religious is vain, or for nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. So as I said before in the beginning, I say now, it matters. Every idle word. Watch what you say. It means something to the Most High. It's by our words. Sometimes we got to understand what we're saying. We got to watch what we're saying, because it reveals the intent of our heart. Are you using your words to edify and to build up, or are you using your words to destroy yourself or others? Either way, what are you doing? How are you going to use your words? An oath, a vow. You tell me, what's it going to be? Israel, watch your words. I hope someone has been edified. Do me a huge favor. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I don't want you to miss any of the lessons. And so until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, Israel.